Seaside.
Hey everybody, welcome to American Idol Unaired. I'm your host, Bennett Shear. Today we have another contestant from season 21. Please welcome Kamryn Emory.
Woo! Applause.
Yes. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Super pumped to meet you, hear your story. Tell me about yourself. I want to hear about American Idol, but I want to hear about you first. Where you grew up, how you kind of got into music, and whatever you want to tell me.
So I'm Kamryn Emory. I just turned 23 and I still live with my parents.
Me
and
too.
my parents are musicians. My dad's like a bassist. This is my dad's little man cave.
Sick.
There's more over here. There's also guitars in
Oh
here.
my gosh, wow.
He's a multi-instrument. He's really talented. My mom's like a singer, so I guess I got my voice from my mom, but so I grew up in a musical family. My parents used to like travel like the country in like hop from Marriott to Marriott hotels, like in Disney hotels, and they would sing almost every night there. And that's how they met. But they stopped that when me and my sister were born. Should I say something about myself? I always make like my whole back. I'm like, this is my background. I like dogs. I am currently writing well, not writing. I always write songs, but I'm currently recording a song
Hmm.
that I'm really excited about. It's almost all completely with live instruments, which I think is really cool, and it's like a soul pop uplifting song, which is really hard for me because I usually write sad songs because I feel like, not that I'm a sad person, but I feel like I just like writing sad songs. I try to write like more lyrically good songs because I feel like that's really important. But the music is really important too. You're either a person that listens to lyrics to me that I've noticed that there's people who just listen to lyrics and that's what they like about this song. Like my girlfriend, that's what she mainly focus on, and I'm more of like a music person when I'm listening to music, but when I'm writing I care a lot about the lyrics.
You know, it's so funny you say that. I was literally just going to say to you, my girlfriend and I, when we send each other music back and forth, I'll send her a song and be like, "You have to hear this. I'm so obsessed with this." And she's like, "Why do you like it so much?" She's like, "What do the lyrics mean to you?" And I'm like, "Oh, I
You're
don't know." But it's actually gotten making me think like maybe I should go back and focus more on the lyrics now because so many times she'll say to me like, "Well, what about the words?"
Yeah, well, honestly, it's also the feel of the song. Like a song can have a really good feel to it. There's this artist, Sammy Ray, and The Friend. I don't know if you've ever heard of her, but she's like a jazz soul. They're a band, but she's like the main girl. She's Sammy Ray. All of her songs I love, but like I don't really pay attention to the lyrics. But when I do, when I'm finally listened to the song for the 30th time, the 30th time, I'm like, oh, these lyrics are really good because I have a hard time with lyrics, like remembering them. It's really hard for me to remember.
Sometimes like a fast song can have sad words. Like there's so many ways to craft a record where it's supposed to sound like one thing but it's disguised in something else, you know?
No, I love when that happens too. Like that's what I'm gonna try to like work on in musicianship, like writing, is most of my sad songs are sad music, but I would really like to. It's just hard to write a sad song with upbeat music. You're like, yeah, I'm so sad. Woohoo, I'm sad.
Yeah, that's funny. I listened to you sing the other day. You did the Beatles cover, and I was so wowed by your voice. And hey, listen, you've heard Lionel, Katie, and Luke critique you, so I don't know who I am to be a judge of talent or anything, but I love your voice.
Oh, I
So cool and so
appreciate it.
unique.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, I love any critique. Like when I gig, sometimes, like it's usually older people, but they will come up and critique me. Maybe like I have the mic, like, because monitors. If you're not musically educated, not you, but if the audience, monitors are like you hearing yourself, the front monitors, and sometimes my dad, he's the bassist in my band, and the music, all their monitors are so loud and next to me that I can't really hear myself. So when I'm singing lower, sometimes I put it too close to my mouth. You can't hear me pronounce my words, but I won't be able to hear myself if it's not. But sometimes I just be guessing what I'm hearing. Like, I think I'm hitting this note.
Well, definitely being an American Idol, I'm sure that you learned a lot, and whether it's critiques from the judges or just kind of being in that, what do we call this, musical boot camp, I guess, you must have learned a lot on that show.
People don't realize how stressful it is. Like, I'm a grown adult, and like when there was teenagers there, I was like, I don't know how you're okay right now because I'm barely okay right now. Like like mentally, it's just so stressful. Like I don't think people realize how long the process of just the audition is. Like I was one of the last auditions of the entire season. Like I was like the third to last. And I was the day that the audition was, I was waiting for 14 hours. And you wake up at like 4:30 a.m. to get ready and be there on time. It was a great experience. I don't want to make it sound like it wasn't. It was a great experience. I'm so glad I did. I'm so glad. But I've noticed with other contestants when they're auditioning, people are like, people love to critique like online, like anonymously, because online is like a facade for people because they know that you can't really do anything to them. So I've noticed a lot of critiquing or just negative and mean comments to my friends, and I don't think that they're realizing how hard it is, and when you're waiting and kind of some people were practicing. I was like, I'm gonna savor my voice because if I don't savor it, I'm probably gonna lose it by the end of the 14 hours. And also, it's so scary to walk into people who are one, they have to judge you, obviously, judging you, and two, they're huge like they're celebrities, and it's really intimate because it's only you and them. I mean, there's a camera crew, but you're not really looking at them, and it's just really intimate. It's really scary. So when people are really judgmental on like their voices, I'm like, you don't understand how long they waited to do that and how scary it is. It's so scary. Great experience, but so scary, especially if you have a little bit of stage fright anxiety. I have that.
I mean, as a gigging musician, that when you can have a night of many songs in a set and you have the opportunity to showcase different parts of your voice, different parts of who you are as an artist, that audience is allowed to see you, or they see different elements of you. And when the audition comes down to this one song on TV, it's like make it or break it, like it's all about this one performance. When you're out there gigging, you can have one song that maybe doesn't feel as good as another song, but there's so much pressure in that one round where it's like, well, this is your only song. So people aren't taking into consideration that normally what you do for a living allows you to kind of have less pressure, not waiting around all day for this one moment. If they're critiquing these people, but they heard them in a full set, and they heard everything they can do, the different artists that they're covering or their original songs, different parts of their voice, their range, then maybe they would be more understanding. And then they should just stop being trolls because they should just be nice and we should all just be kinder people, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's a difference between critiquing and saying something mean.
Right.
Like, you can critique and be like, I think that their voice was a little bit pitchy on the note. That's more of a critique, like, or they were a little flat on the note, whatever. Being like, they sounded like a mouse when they hit that, or that's just like mean. Like, that's not a critique, that's just you being mean. Like, and I think a lot of it is jealousy because they're not, you know what I mean. My friends are awesome, and I hope that everyone watches and cheers on my friends. It's really exciting.
You want to talk about who you met on Idol since you're mentioning closer friends? I mean, I'm sure you met so many
Um,
people.
so me and this one kid, PK, we actually knew each other before American Idol. We have mutual friends. Like we have like the same talent consultant. Her name's Effie. Um, and so it was we went to our audition city together, not together, like we didn't fly together, but we saw each other, and it was nice to have somebody familiar that I actually knew. But McKinley, I'm so excited for her. She's young, she's 17, and she's just so talented. She has a great story. I think she's gonna be huge. Like I think she's going to be a star, like for sure. Like there's some people that you look at and you just know, like
Yeah.
that they're going to be big, and I think she's one of them. Oliver Steele, we were also, so we all three, there was this meeting room in the hotel that we were staying at with, and me, McKinley, and Oliver were the only people that came down the first day, and like we're saying hi to each other and playing music, and they were singing.
Did you
Yeah.
did you have your family along with you?
So I think ever since COVID, you could only bring one guest. I
Oh,
mean,
right.
some people like snuck in. I mean, I thought it was going to be really tight, the security, but they were more chill than I thought. So my dad really wanted to come, but I was like, no, it says one person. If you come and I get in trouble, I was getting so stressed.
Yeah.
No, me and my mom came, and it was fun. I'm glad my mom came because she can calm me down more. My dad kind of like hypes me up, gets me kind of like scared. My mom knows how to like calm me down. So that was fun being with my mom. It was a great bonding experience with my mom too because we got to do like interviews together, and we like cried together, and it was just like, you know, I love her. She's great.
Had you ever done anything like this? Any TV shows before Idol?
I've been on the news,
Mm.
but no, I've never done anything like that. I am an extra in a movie coming out soon.
Oh,
Not soon, and like it's still being like filmed. I don't know how big the movie's gonna be, but it seems like it had like American Idol cameras, so it seemed like a legit movie. That was the time. That was the when I went to American Idol. Those were the biggest cameras I've ever seen. I have never like the very first time they filmed me for like an interview, because they do that for everyone, you know, they
right.
film you like you are going to be aired, like you think you are, everyone thinks they are, and then they're like, oh, really thought I was going to be. But they film you so much. The very first day I was so bad, like I literally had never talked to a camera or a person. That's like, they ask you questions, you repeat the questions, and I literally could not repeat my name, age, where I'm from, and what I do for work. Like it's like the more I tried, the worse it got because I was thinking about it too hard. He was like, "I can tell he was so nice. He was an Australian man. His name's Dan. He was so sweet. He was really sweet. Like the crew there is really really nice. Like that's something I have to. I was kind of nervous about that because I'd never done anything like that, and I was scared that maybe they'd be kind of like, "Oh my God, this girl does not know what she's doing." But the crew, especially the film crew, were so nice, so sweet.
I'm curious what you were on the news for.
Oh, when I was 17, I did this like Grammy program thing. It's not like Grammys, it was just called that, but it's at this theater called Ruth Eckerd Hall. People, big artists have performed there, like Diana Ross, and I can't really think of, I'm sure there's been bigger artists, but for some reason that's the only one I can think of. But it's like a smaller, like, concert hall. It's more of like a intimate kind of gathering, but they did a program, and it was like from 13-year-olds to 21-year-olds. You had to audition to get in, and then it was like a month program where you all wrote music together. I don't know if you know the Song House. It's kind of like that but longer. Like it's younger people. Yeah, it was really cool, and I got to sing my original. And then this one kid that was like the same age as me, he was really talented, good playing. He wrote a song, and it was a duet, and he asked me to be in it, and we were on the news with that.
Wow.
We got on the news singing like his original together. It was really cool. And I've been on the news for Spirit Week at my high school.
Oh, so you had really impressive costume, and then they were like, "Let's talk to Cameron and ask her about her
No, no, I
costume."
was like the secretary of my school. Like they like had there was the president, vice president, secretary. I was the secretary, so they just had us like be like, go and Chloe. That was my school.
We're both SGA kids. Do they call it SGA at your school too, or do they call it something
No, they
else?
were just called student council.
Okay.
I don't know what does that stand for?
Student. Oh, I don't know why it clicked for me that it would be called that. Student Government Association. But
Oh,
it's like
okay.
the
That's more
same Java, right?
fancy. You must have been at a fancy high school.
I hate to like it sounds so obnoxious to say private school, but it was, I don't know.
Oh, that's why, yeah.
Well, I don't know. And oh God, I'm gonna make myself sound more obnoxious. I was the president.
No, that's not obnoxious. I wish I was the president, but I was smart, and I knew that if I ran for president, I was going to lose because I wasn't like super popular. So I ran for whatever I knew, like either no one was running or I against someone that sounds so mean, but I thought I could possibly be because I was just maybe a little more popular than them. I wasn't popular at all. Just like I'm like that friend that people know because I'm friends with somebody else. Like like that.
Kind of makes me think about high school because you're 23 now, I'm 22. Have you like changed as an artist at all from when you started out doing music till now, or do you think you've always kind of had a very similar vibe from the beginning?
I mean, I think I'm utilizing my voice more now. Like my song, so that I have released a song when I was 19, and that's when I was really into like alt music. I am into alt music still, but I realized that my voice is strong. Like, I mean, it's not too stronger than that. I think there's alt singers that can sing very strong, that are amazing singers. They just like that genre. But I've realized that I enjoy singing soul because I think it really shows my vocal strengths, and also I think it's like good feeling songs and like jazzy songs. But my music when I was 19, super like alternative, like almost indie. I really like the song, like I'm proud of it. It's not the best, like the production is pretty good for, especially for being 19 and paying for it, but of course it's not the highest quality. I'm not paying thousands of dollars. Like I can't, I still can't afford that. But I think the lyrics are really well written, and I do like this song. It's just super like alt, and I do write alt music here and there. That's why I'm like, it's so hard for me to pick a genre, because like when you write sad songs, my sad songs aren't like soul. So that's why it's really hard for me to pick a genre. But the song I have that I'm recording right now is pretty soul pop jazz. I love it. I'm so excited for it. Also, what I've changed since I being younger and like coming up, I used to be very obsessive with artists, like music people, and I would try to be like them. And that was a big problem for me because I wasn't being my own person. So a lot of the people that I have growing, I'll just say some who I really think is my music inspiration. Right now, I really like Sammy Ray and the Friends. I don't know if they're like considered an inspiration, but they're just so good. I love them. I hope they come to Florida soon. Regina Spektor. I love Regina Spektor. Do you know who that is?
Mm-mm.
She's like you've probably heard one of her songs. And it breaks my heart. Have you heard
Yeah, yeah,
that song?
yeah.
She's just such a good writer.
Uh-huh.
And my sister used to, she's like old, like not old, like old, but her music is from like 2005. And my sister, she's 8 years older than me. So like a lot of my music influence is actually from my sister, because my sister would play a lot of music, like driving me and also just being around each other. And her music taste to me is really good. So a lot of my music taste, I think, has been because of my sister. So yeah, Regina Spektor, and I have to try, and probably the Beatles.
Yeah.
I love the Beatles. My dad, like that's like when I like think of the Beatles, I think of Michelle. I don't know if you've heard that song, Michelle My Belle, and I think of cinnamon melts from McDonald's. Because
That's
my dad
awesome.
would like, and they don't make them anymore, but my dad would like drive me to school, and he would play that song a lot, and we would always get like cinnamon melts from McDonald's. So every time I hear Michelle, I think of the smell of cinnamon melt. It's so weird. But
Michelle, the smell. I don't know.
yeah, Michelle, cinnamon melt.
This is now making me wonder what songs you chose way back in the beginning of your idol audition process, because I don't know if you were scouted or if you tried it yourself, but they have you sing quite a few songs, right, in the
I
beginning?
wasn't scouted. I was not scouted. I was one of the very few. Like it's when I was shocked how much I didn't even know scouting was a thing. Like until I was there, I was shocked how many people were scouted. I think around 80% of the people who made it to the auditions were scouted, and only like 20%. Don't take my word for this. This is what I've just heard through people. But and then only like 20% were through Zoom calls, and I heard that around like 125,000 people auditioned. So to even be the and only 0.0008% of them made it past that. So I just feel accomplished in general that I beat, not beat, but like I made it past the very first like
Right.
Zoom call, because that's like a huge narrowing down like from all the audition cities. About 420 people auditioned. maybe even less, maybe like 350
Yeah.
people auditioned at all the audition cities. And then to think 125,000 people
Yeah.
auditioned through Zoom and I made it past that point. That's just amazing.
It is amazing. What were you thinking when you logged on to the Idol Across America screen?
So I've auditioned so many times for American Idol. This was my
Oh.
first time making it. I hate to say this. Everyone was super talented. Just wanted to
Oh
say,
yeah, of course.
but a lot of it has to do with your story.
Oh, yeah.
And if you do not have a good story, you could be the best singer in the world. And if your story or your look or if they don't think you're sellable enough, they probably won't put you through. But I've definitely gotten a lot better since last year, like my voice, because I started singing out when I was 21, like gigging, and that's helped with my confidence because I used to literally like almost throw up every time I sang in front of people. And that's why my dad started this band with me because he knew it would help me with my anxieties with singing in front of people. So that helped me tremendously. That's why when people were like, I was like, I don't know how you're doing this right now at 17 because I don't even think I could do this last year. Like
Wow.
it's so scary. Like I like every time right before I went on, I had like a mental breakdown. Like I cried because it's so scary to
Hmm.
me. To other people, it might be a breeze, but to me, it was like, I'm so scared right now. I'm crying. My mom had to like calm me down. It was so frightening. It was so scary. And I know when I sing out, I'm pretty like, I don't move around a lot. So my parents were like, you gotta go in there, you gotta sell it. This is an audition, blah, blah, blah. Cause my mom's like a performer. Like she like moves, she like kicks her feet, she's crazy. Me, I'm more of like I don't wanna like, I don't like doing a lot. So I go in there and I'm like overdoing it because my parents are like, you gotta sell it, blah blah blah. And also it's an audition, so I am gonna go more out than when I'm singing like at a dive bar, you know. So they definitely thought I overperformed. That was my biggest critique. They thought I was more of like a showboat kind of, which I understand. I think I was just overdoing it. And also when you're in there, you kind of forget everything that happens. Like it's actually longer than you think. Like it's not just the audition and you leave. You actually get to talk to them for a little bit, which is really cool. It's really cool that they do that. I've heard people had longer experiences than I did because I think by the end of the day, it's the last audition day of the whole season. I think they're just done after hearing so many singers. Almost everyone got an opportunity to sing two songs. I had a feeling they were about to say no, and I was like, I can sing another song if you want. And they were like, oh, I could tell they were like, I don't want to be here anymore, which I don't blame them because I would be done too. I'd be checked out. But I think what a lot of people don't realize is the whole time we are there, it's kind of like an audition. They want to see how good we work under pressure. They want to see who's complaining. They want to see who's sticking it out, who's offering to stay longer, to be in the background. Um, there's just a lot that goes into it that like it's crazy because before this, like reality TV, you don't realize how much of it is like a production. I don't want to say a lot of it, it is true to like their show is pretty true to what they do, but like there's just behind the scenes stuff that it's not, but that's normal. A lot of almost every show that's like that because like things are filmed in different sequences than people realize. Like you'll go the audition and then they'll have you after you go to the audition say how how pretend that you haven't gone in yet and talk about how you feel. So stuff like that, um like so when I'm watching my friends on there, I'm like, oh, they definitely did this after they already auditioned. Like you can tell. So it's I don't know, it's really fun. It was a great experience. I would do it again. Like I probably will audition again if they let me. I realized that this season is a lot more about songwriting. This season is a lot more about songwriting.
Interesting.
Um, they really want an artist. And that's where I kind of fumbled the bag because I was just kind of singing covers. But they definitely are looking more. I mean, they usually are looking for an artist, but this time it's like, they are letting you do songwriting. Like they're letting you perform your originals more than they did last year, which is really cool for like the artists because people get to hear their songs, which I'm really excited for. I'm trying to think who did the original that I know of right now. Oh, Keelan.
Oh, that
Yeah,
song got stuck in my head.
song is so
Oh,
good. That
uh,
song
it,
is so poppy. I literally love it. She's actually, I think she might, I think she's gonna be pretty big too. I think her songs are really catchy. She kind of gives like Megan Trainor vibes.
yes.
Really smart of her for her to sing her original. There also a reason I was not thinking about singing original because I thought there was gonna be less of a chance of being aired. Does that make sense?
Mm,
They want you to sing a song that people know. That's how I viewed it. Like I'm like they're gonna no one's like the audience isn't gonna want to hear original after original after original because it's just not fun for them to listen to a song that they don't know like over and over again. Of course, it's fun like for like to an episode.
I don't know. It's interesting you say that. I feel like for me, and I feel like a lot of other fans of the show that are either musicians or just love music, it is kind of like a concert to hear songs they've never heard before.
Mm-hmm. See, I don't know. I'm just thinking in the how I am. I'm a short attention span person.
Uh-huh.
So if I'm not having a familiarity, of course I love hearing all their originals. Of course, I loved it. I really, really. I mean, I really like Keelan's. I
Yeah.
love. She has a great personality. I met her in Hollywood Week. We were in the same group. I don't know. I think she's really smart. I think
Yes.
that the way she promotes her songs and the way she makes them are really smart.
I actually remember, this is kind of weird, but I remember going to bed one night and I was putting my phone on the nightstand and putting on Do Not Disturb, and I started hearing Don't Call Me Up in my
Yeah,
head.
literally. Me and my girlfriend could not stop singing that song. Like we literally could not stop singing that song. And that is not even my genre of songs that I listen to, but I literally
Right.
was like I have to download this because I literally could not stop singing it. It's so good. It's so catchy. So good. She wrote that song really well.
I think the pre-chorus is just so well crafted. Do
Yeah.
you think about me when you're all alone? It's like that just
That's so
has that
good.
like a Lady Gaga vibe or something. I don't know.
She gives Megan Trainor vibes.
Yeah.
Like music is super like it's just super poppy. And to me, Megan Trainor is super poppy. And she just reminds me of her a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know why. I think what I was getting was it reminded me a little bit of Born This Way. Dun, 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 I put my lipstick on.
Yeah,
But
I can hear that. I can hear that. Yeah, for sure.
I was wondering when you found out you were actually going to meet the judges, what your reaction was.
I was super excited because, like I said, I've auditioned for them a few times. And I'm glad they started doing Zoom. It's made it so much easier for people who might not have like the means to travel somewhere to go audition.
Yes.
I think that it's great for people who might not have the financial, like they're really getting people from the corners of the country, like people who would not be able to have this opportunity. If you make it past that point, they pay for your flight
Hmm.
to go and the hotel. And they used to not do that in like a few seasons back before COVID. They would not pay your way. And now they are. So there's really people who can't afford that kind of thing that are getting the opportunity.
Did you try out before the COVID years when it was different?
So I tried out, yeah, I did. I tried out when I was 17. I tried out in Asheville, North Carolina. My grandma lives in Asheville,
Hmm.
and I think I had tried out twice actually this year. There was one in Florida, I think, and I didn't make it. And I tried out in Asheville, and they told me they put you in a group of 4 people. This is how it used to be. I don't know if they still do this. I don't even know if they do still do in person at all. There's literally like 8 tents, and they do four because it's such a long line. Like, and I actually got a front of. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this, but I got a front of a line pass from the Grammy program.
Oh,
So
wow.
I got to skip people, which I feel horrible about, but they make you come up one at a time. You sing like 30 seconds. And they said, you three, you need some work. which is awful. And then they said to me, they were like, "You definitely need to come back next year. You're so close." And I didn't go back. So I started auditioning again when I was like 21 online, and didn't make it the like first two times I auditioned online when I was 21, and then when I was 22, which has just happened, I made it. I definitely just needed to grow as a singer. Like I was a good little singer for 17, but I think it's just the way I presented myself, the fear and like I think that's what really held me back is the anxiety I had. And also, when you had to sing in front of back then, when you had to sing in front of the producers, you had to do it a cappella. So I sing it, which is horrible, by the way, to do to somebody. Um, because honestly, unless you are freaking like Jennifer Hudson, when you sing a cappella, it's never gonna sound. I mean, it will sound good, but it's never gonna sound like you've heard people sing a cappella, and you're like, this is kind of awkward because they're just singing to
Right.
nothing.
They're waiting for the next measure to
And
kick
it's
in or
really
whatever.
hard,
Yeah.
especially if you're singing like a soul song with weird chords in it. It's really hard to stay on that key. It's really like if I'm singing like a pop song, that's easy. But if it's like a runs everywhere, it's hard to stay on that key.
The fact that you actually had gotten to this point of filming the show. You mentioned earlier, like, first of all, these are the biggest cameras you've ever seen. You're with all these other people that are doing the show, and you met the judges and you talked about how their feedback was that maybe it was, did you say it was like you were at a concert or that you were like more on a stage than you were in the room? Is that kind of in the ballpark of what you said it was?
Okay, so I sang Respect by Aretha Franklin.
Okay, cool, cool.
Whatever, I respect all the judges, but whatever Lionel Richie says, I respect him the most because like a musician and he's like a really genuine I think he's like the most genuine judge. Like he's actually looking at the singing value rather than just like the production value. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I took his critiques very like a learning moment. Katy Perry didn't really critique me that I remember. They said I was trying to emulate Aretha too much, which that's the one critique that I kind of disagree with because I've only heard Aretha sing that song like twice ever. And she does not, I growl in the song. She does not growl in the song. She doesn't do the runs where I do it. My mom would sing it a lot, so that's kind of who I was like, if I were emulating anyone, it'd be my mom. So when they said that, I was like, of course, I'm not like, you're wrong. I'm just like, okay, just taking it because they're just trying to critique me. And if that's how they felt, then that's how they felt. Me and Katy Perry vibed. I actually I'm proud of myself of how well I put on my personality when I met them because you have to be memorable. You have to say something or do something that makes you memorable enough to, because there is so much talent. Like everyone is talented there. Like they don't just put you through if you're not talented. So it's hard. You have to realize how hard it is for the judges to narrow it down. So if everyone can sing, is an amazing singer, how are they going to narrow it down? It's going to be by your personality, how you look, how you present yourself, your story. If they just plain like you, like I think Katy Perry liked me. Me and her talked about veggies because Katy Perry stood up and she picked her wedgie, and I was like, oh, she's like, I have a wedgie. And I was like, I get veggies. And she was like, what are veggies? And I was like, vagina wedgies. And we like all laughed. And even the film crew started laughing. They thought it was funny. Luke and Lionel were like,
I
oh.
swear I thought you were talking about
No,
vegetables.
no, they were all like, what? What is that? And I was like, vagina wedgies. And Luke and Lionel were like, ew, oh my god, ew, ew. Okay, so I think that these auditions city, there's people who, there's the judges, there's like a mean judge for each city, kind of. Like, I think they have to, like, someone has to be the bad guy, kind of. And I think in Las Vegas, people said Katy Perry was kind of the bad guy at theirs. I think ours was Luke Bryan because he was, out of all the people who got one no, I think it was almost always Luke Bryan. He had the Country Music Awards during that time. He wasn't mean. Like, a lot of people were thinking that he was mean, but I was like, he wasn't mean. He's just, like, critiquing me. Like, I didn't view it as a mean thing. I thought he was kind of funny. And I think after that, the show started taking me more seriously because you can tell a little bit who they're really. I mean, they don't make it super obvious, but I'm an observer, so I kind of can tell who they're kind of more leaning towards. And after when I went to Hollywood Week, they were filming me a lot more. But I don't know if they just do that for everyone in Hollywood Week. I don't know. Hollywood Week was a great experience, but awful for me because I was so sick. I
Oh,
was the sickest I ever had to sing. I am chronically sick. Like I'm known as the sick friend out of all my friends. My family even knows I'm sick all the time. I don't know why I get sick so much, but it sucks when you're a singer and you're sick all the time because you know your voice is not at its full potential when your nose is stuffy, when your throat hurts, when you're coughing. So I literally was so sick in Hollywood Week, I couldn't even like sit next to girls with perfume on. I had to separate myself. So I'm probably barely filmed. Like when people are performing, like you're clapping, you're the audience. I was probably barely in any of those because I was off to the side. Like I sound so dramatic, but genuinely, I could not breathe. Like I've never had it that bad before. Like
oh,
for Hollywood Week, I sang "Oh Darling" by the Beatles. I did not make it past the first round, and the group I was in was so talented. To me, they were the best group. Vocally, they had the most happening in my group. Like Lucy Love was in my group.
oh,
Um,
I love her.
yeah, Lucy Love was in my group. Megan Daniel was in my group. Everyone was so sweet. I did not meet one like nasty contestant. Avery, she has a bit. We were like best friends. Our moms are now like best friends. Me and Avery's mom. She's had some pretty viral singing videos on TikTok. She's just a great person. Her mom's a great person. We were like sisters there because we kind of look similar. Like we have like very similar features. We kind of dress very similar. We have like the same interests. We literally people called us Allie and AJ. Like she looked like
I love
Allie
that.
and I looked like AJ, just like brunettes. It's also like an awakening experience being there to be like, wow, I'm not the only one. I'm not the most talented. Like, it's very like awakening to be there because, and you're like, I'm in a small city. Like, I think I'm like the shit here. Like, not the shit, but like one of the most talented singers here. But then you go to freaking American Idol and you're like, holy crap, everyone's so talented. And when I was going into American Idol, I watched like, I did a little research. I watched a couple like auditions and I was like, oh, this person I sound like an asshole, but I would just be like, oh, this person's not that vocally strong. Like I feel like I'm like a stronger vocalist. But then you go and there's so many people, they just don't show them. Trust me. The talent is insane. A lot of these people that we meet, we're like, we know some of them are going to be big and we're meeting them, and it's nice to know that even when they're kind of blowing up, they're still super humble and still will like thank you and talk to you, because even though you feel like you're really like you guys got really close, you only knew each other for like 5 days, six
Right.
days. So it's really nice that people are staying true and humble. Like Keelan's a sweetie too. I'm just super excited for McKinley. McKinley is one of my close ones, close girlies.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for her. I really think she's gonna be a superstar. I'm so like I'm just so excited for her. But it was really cool. Hollywood Week was cool. I got to meet my count. What is it called? I got to talk to David Archuleta. It was really cool. I didn't know who he was right when I met him. He's like, "Hi, I'm David Archuleta." And I was like, "Oh my god! Oh my god! I used to like love you. You were on iCarly." Like he was really genuine. He was my most favorite like celebrity moment. He was the most genuine person. We talked about how we're both Capricorns, like chakras. We did breathing with each other and not manifestations. Well, kind of. And also, what is it called? Just like saying good things about yourself while looking in a mirror. Just like, um,
Affirmations?
yes, yes, affirmations. Thank you. He was just so freaking sweet, like so genuine. I got to talk to him for a while. We talked for like maybe like almost 10 minutes, and it was one on one. And I'm glad I got him because he's probably one of the only ones I would have known. And they're like, well, they'll introduce yourself. It's no big deal, blah, blah. And then he's like, I'm David. I was like, oh my God. I do know you. What?
The weird thing about watching Idol in the olden days was feeling like, okay, that 16-year-old person looks so much older than me because I started watching the show when I was 8 and I was like that 16-year-old looks like a giant. And now I'm like, "Oh my god, they're so little."
Oh my gosh. Do you know who Katie Stevens is?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know she was on American Idol and I was like obsessed with her for a minute.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever heard the show Faking It?
Yeah, well, I
I freaking loved that show. That show was way before its time, like so far before its time. That's where I knew her from. And I was like, oh my God, what? American Idol? When I looked up her name, and I was
yeah.
like, oh my God, she was on American Idol. The next day, I was even sicker and I was flying home. And I was like, I'm honestly glad I didn't make it because I would not be able to do what they're doing right now
Mm,
because they had to stay up, like, they have to when you make it you have to stay and come back and be in the audience, like they don't, which is nice, they don't make the like people who get sent home sit through everyone else making
right.
it. So they were there till like 12 a.m or maybe even later, maybe like, yeah, like 12 a.m. And then when duets were happening they were like, okay, pick your duet partner, we're doing duets tomorrow. So then you have so you have as much time as you can allow yourself to learn a song with your duet partner, and now it's 3 in the morning and you have to wake up at 6 a.m. I'm like,
Right.
I could not have done that being how sick I was. Like, I was so sick. I can't even explain. Like, I was so sick, and I was like, I'm glad I didn't make it because I would have not been able to do that at all. Almost everyone was sick, sick. That's what they said. People who made it through are tough. They stuck it out. I've known some people left Hollywood Week. A lot of people leave Hollywood Week. It's just too much.
That's like the realest thing probably about the TV element of it all. Even though, like you said, sometimes they film things out of order or there's some things about reality TV, but the stress that you see on TV
Yeah,
is,
that's true. Like, I was sad right when I got voted off, but I like knew I was going to be like, you can tell. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes you can't tell because there were some people that were like in the group. Do you know what I'm talking about when I'm saying groups?
yeah, like the performance
Yeah, some
challenge, right?
stand forward, some stand back, you go
Yeah.
home. You know what I mean?
And they make you wait it out, right? They're like, step forward, you wait 20
Mhm.
seconds.
They film each individual
Oh,
face.
God, brutal, right?
And you kind of have to like pretend to be nervous if you're not, like, you know, but you know if you made it. Sometimes some people they sent home I was like absolutely in shock, and some people that they kept I was absolutely in shock. Not to sound like an asshole, but some people they kept were they were kind of outshined in their group. I'm sure they're all talented, but I felt outshined in my group, and that's why I was like, I think I am going home because
Hmm.
I think I was outshined. And and they made it like two. I remember two people made it in a group where I was like, oh, these two people standing back, they're not going to make it. And then they were the only ones that made it. Some of them were really, really good, but when there's like 2 and 5 and you see super talented in the 5, you just assume that the 2 are going home. Like, it was crazy. I knew I was going home because the person, 2 people before me, I mean, got standing ovations, and then a person after me got standing ovation, and I didn't. I was like, it's not happening for me. It's not. And my dad was like, did you tell them you were sick? Did you? I was like, Dad, I don't have time to be like, I'm sick. Like, what? Like, I don't have time to say I'm sick. And I don't want to use it as an excuse. Like, I think they would think that's kind of like cheap of me to like be like,
Mm,
I'm so sick.
right.
So, I mean, I told in my like interviews without the judges there, I'd be like, I'm like, they're like, how are you feeling? I'm like, well, I'm so sick. And right after I got off the stage from Hollywood Week, I literally was like, right after I was done singing, my voice was gone. And they do an interview right when you step off the stage. Like,
Yeah.
there's a camera right there. And they're like, how do you feel? I was like, as you can see, my voice is gone. And they were like, my God.
They're
like,
like,
the
that's
camera was
TV.
like, it was funny. But I did cry a little. I tried not to, but I did cry. I think it's also like, of course, it's sad for me. I'm not saying that it wasn't a sad moment, but it's just like the relief also, like that I don't have to be stressed the fuck out anymore. The relief of it also made me cry. Like, I saw Dan, the guy who was like my favorite little filmer. I was like, because they make you film one, and then they made me go to Dan. And I was like, Dan. He was like, hi, sweet. He was so sweet. And he's like, and I kept saying, Dan, I'm so sad. And he was like, you gotta stop saying my name because I'm their friend. It was so funny.
Oh my
But
gosh.
yeah, it was a great experience. Just very like, of course it's stressful, but it's worth it. You get to meet great people. Like you get to meet the celebs. You get to meet I also got to meet last year's winner. I think his name's Noah Thompson. Got to meet him. We literally were leaving at the same time, so I got to meet him in the elevator as we were going down
Wow.
in Hollywood Week. Of course, got to meet Ryan Seacrest, Katy Perry, Luke Bryan, Lionel Richie, and David Archuleta. And I also got to meet Clay Akins
Really? Clay,
too.
you really?
He was
What was that
yeah,
like?
he was in the group. I didn't get to meet him, like I didn't get a one on one like I did with David. But he was a personality. He like they all came out and talked to like our group,
Uh-huh.
and then he was great. He was a really good personality. Yeah, he was really funny.
Hmm.
Yeah, he had good advice. They both had good advice. They were good people to have come back and give us advice. Really
Mm-hmm.
sweet. That's like you are. I was most shocked about how like genuine and sweet people were because like you hear a lot of bad things about the showbiz.
Again, the idea that you're in a competition where the exact goal of going on that show is to be there for yourself. There are people around you that you can trust that do want to be there for you. No, like especially the crew. I think that's pretty cool that you have these crew members like Dan and
You become pretty familiar with them because you see them so much. You don't know. Maybe they're filming a freaking movie in like a year and they really like your look. Of course, that's me. No one came up to me and was like, "Would you want to be in a movie next year?" But like, you never know. Like, you're meeting people that might have like good hookups in the business.
there was a contestant in season 8, the Fox network. And there was this girl who made it to the top 36. Her name is Jackie Tone, and she's now like a Netflix, and she's a comedian, and she's
Cool.
yeah. And I listened to a podcast of hers where she was like, I really struggled in entertainment after American Idol. She was on the show in 2009, and then she just couldn't find a break as a musician or an actor or anything. And then I think it was like a decade later, there was a guy who was a line producer, or no, story producer on American Idol. So he was in charge of crafting her story for the interviews, which you know all about. And it was, she had a lot of personality. However many years later, that story producer had become the head of a production company, was looking for the host of a show. And guess who he thought of? And she became the host of multiple Netflix shows. She now does stand up comedy, and you just never know.
Yeah, you never do know. You really don't. I don't know. All I can say is advice for people who want to be or kids. I don't know, like, because I'm not that. Obviously, I'm not a big singer, but you use what you can. Of course, don't take advantage of people. That's not what I'm saying. Like, just go to if you want to be an actor and someone gives you the opportunity to be an extra, even for a split second in the back of a film, do it because you can meet cool people in the film and you can meet the film people there and they might really like you and they might really like your look and you might get more opportunities. You should take every opportunity you could possibly have if that's what you want to do. Like any opportunity I can get with singing, or because I kind of want to, I've always, even before I was singing, I wanted to be in acting. Like I've realized, because me and my cousins I'd be like, let's film a movie, because I just loved doing that. But singing is like my natural gift, so that's just what I go with, and also I enjoy it and love it. But I've always wanted to be into acting, but I didn't have any resources to help me with that. Like I didn't know where to start or anything. With music, I have a little bit of resources with my parents and stuff. So any opportunity, like I got the opportunity to be an extra in the background of a film, heck yeah, I'm gonna do that. Like that's cool. Like that's kind of what I want to do. I think it'd be really cool. So yeah, I'm gonna do it, even though I'm not the lead and that's what I want to be. That doesn't mean you shouldn't, because you can always find ways to network yourself. And in years to come, you may be the lead in the musical, or you may be the singer and the opener for an artist you really love, like stuff like that. So my lesson for myself and for others is to always take every possible opportunity you could possibly take. And also, like, I think also need to learn from this as well, is don't be ashamed to say that you're a singer because I don't know, because I think it's kind of cringy to say like you're a singer, like just growing up, because people would like, I don't know, kids are mean. So I like, I just, it helps you also network because you might talk to somebody in like at a coffee shop. Like I work at Starbucks, sometimes in Target, and maybe if someone was like, "What do you?" "Oh, I'm a singer." "Oh, that's crazy. I have this venue, this new venue that I'm opening up. You should give me your card and I'll listen to you." Like stuff like that. Random like opportunities come up out of nowhere that you would never even think, out of thin air. And I don't know. I just view myself as lucky and blessed that I have any opportunity because some people don't have opportunities like me just gigging in dive bars. People don't have that opportunity. Like I'm lucky I have a dad that's a bassist and he knows musicians and he knows club owners, so he can get me into even small, even though they're little dive bars, at least I'm still being able to sing, and I'm getting paid to do it, which a lot of singers don't get paid to do what they love. So that's a blessing in itself. So I'm just gonna keep striving. Maybe I'll audition again for American Idol. Maybe they'll air me this time, next time if I make it. So I don't know. I think I know after you have this experience, you kind of know more, you get more knowledgeable. You get more confident. After singing in front of celebrities, I feel more confident to sing in front of anybody. Like I sing in front of literal celebrities, super nerve wracking. Like my dad was even like, if you can sing in front of them, you can sing in front of anybody. It was so funny when I called my dad when I found out I was going to Hollywood. He started bawling. Like my
Oh,
dad's not emotional. My dad does not cry. He does not anything. Yeah, I like he had a Android at the time, so I like Facebook videoed and I was like with my ticket, and he was like, I was
oh.
like, I wish I screen recorded it, but I didn't. I was just so stoked in the moment, I didn't think to do it. I was like, dang it, I should have screen
But you
recorded
know what? You
this.
have that life memory. That's what matters. You remember
I
it, and you
do.
screen recorded it up here.
Yes. There was just so many things like that I think worked out for me during that. This one 17-year-old super talented girl was singing Aretha, and I was singing Aretha, and they put her right before me, like two Aretha songs. And I was like, oh my God, they put a younger, super talented girl, has been trained in opera for like 15 years, has all, I have no training. I've never, maybe I was like, I had vocal lessons when I was like 12, for like 3 months. So like that's all the training I've ever had. She's had years of training. I was like, I'm screwed. Like we're both. Why would they put us both together if we're both singing Aretha? But she had like this special ticket from a news channel, like sent. She won like a news channel thing. Her name's Sunshine. She's so beautiful, so sweet. Um, and they forgot to bring it, and they had to bring it to go into the interview. And so I got to go before her, and I just think that worked out in my favor because she's younger than me, she's possibly to me more talented than me possibly, so I was like, and we were both singing Aretha, so I was like already psyched out. That was the main thing. It's not because I think that like I went before her, that's why I made it. I think that also would have really psyched me out to see her go in, and you know what I mean? So I got to go in before her, and I made it, and I feel so bad she didn't, and they said her voice was too mature. I was like, how does that make any sense? You would want her voice to be mature. I felt so bad for her, but she was fantastic. Beautiful, beautiful girl. She's doing big things. Like she's like singing I think she's singing the national anthem for like a basketball game stuff. She does pretty cool things. I mean, I think she just turned 18 actually, but she was 17 doing a lot. So I'm happy she's doing a lot.
It's neat that you got to hear these other singers too, because I feel like the experience of just hearing other musicians that come from either all different walks of life or sound different or just have different styles. I mean, I know it must have been like overwhelming to have somebody that was, like singing the same thing and all of that
Yeah.
right before you, but still just to hear the talent to be around that must have been really
Oh,
fun.
it's really cool to hear talent, but it's also so scary. When you're doing in Hollywood Week and you're in that group and you're hearing the people go on before you and you're like, "Oh my God, they're so good." And you're like, "I have to go up." Like Megan Daniels, I think it's Daniels or Daniels. She went right before me, standing ovation, everyone, she cried in the middle of it, like not because she was scared, but because she felt the song so much. Like I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm gonna have to follow that. Just getting standing ovations, everyone's crying. I'm like, okay. They did a freaking lunch break right before I was about to
Oh
walk
my
on
God.
stage. I was like, thank you, God. But also, I hadn't eaten all day and I couldn't really eat because I had to go on and sing 15 minutes after eating and I didn't want to like burp. So, because I burp when I eat and I sing. So I was like, I'm glad because it kind of calmed my nerves down because it's kind of a refresher for the judges,
Uh-huh.
you know, because I'm not going amazing performance, bam, me. But so I was actually the start kind of after the lunch. I was the first person after the lunch break. And what was cool is I was behind the stage so much because I was about to go on, then lunch break, about to go on, lunch break back. So the judges had to walk by me like three or maybe twice. Can't remember. So all the judges, I was like, "You look good, Lionel." I was like, "That color's good on you, Lionel." And then Katy Perry said she liked my outfit. I was like, thank you. She was like, I like the coordination. I was like, thanks, Katie. But it was really cool having them walk by you.
Do you wish you could have watched the audition back and gotten the footage?
I do, but I of course I do. Just for also for my family to have, like my
Yeah.
parents just to have it, because my dad he wants to use this as promo for me, for our local like to get gigs and stuff. Um, So it kind of sucks that we don't have like a video, but I was kind of scared that I was really cringy in it, like how I was performing. Like part of me was like, I kind of am scared I'm cringe AF and people are going to literally roast the hell out of me. And I know I didn't sing as perfect as I wanted to because of course I was so nervous and you know, that will affect you. But also what was really cool about the experience, I was super nervous before, right when I walk in the room, still nervous, but I got a calming sensation because you realize that the judges are people. Walk in, you're like, oh, they're literally people. Like they're people, living human beings. Like they're not gods. I mean, not some. They have lights shine, so they kind of look like gods, but they also are like, oh, they're people.
Yeah.
Katy Perry was beautiful. Like I was not. I've always thought she was beautiful, of course, but I wasn't expecting her to be like that beautiful. When I saw her, she was gorgeous, and they all looked great. It's just like as soon I was like, oh, they're people, and you have to like I of course I'm like one of the last auditions. People are giving me kind of advice, which I'm really lucky and thankful for that people were kind of giving me advice. Like my friend PK went like 2 days before me. He was like, they're gonna have a conversation in front of you. You're gonna kind of feel excluded. Just put yourself in there. So they were like talking, and I was making myself known. I was like, I'm not gonna let not that they were trying to exclude me, but they're literally like friends. They're talking. So I was like, oh my god, huh? Like just joining in the conversation. Like they're just not even talking to me, but I don't care. I'm like joining in just so there's more of an interaction between us. So there's just like a couple of things that I think I did that was actually really smart. Like I think the main reason I went through was because of my personality, genuinely. Maybe not with Lionel, but with Katie, that was 100% why I went through. Advice for people who are possibly wanting to audition slash do that, you really gotta the judges' reactions are everything. If you notice, a lot of people they were like, I don't know why I didn't dare. Did you get a big reaction from the judges? Then you're probably not gonna be, you know what I mean? A lot of it's not determined on you, it's determined on how the judges also react to you and if there's a funny moment or if there's a heartfelt moment. You have to be really persistent. Luke was trying, not trying, but he was trying to like get the judges to say no to me. And he was like, he was like, what kind of music do you write? I was like, well, I wrote a song I was like, I'm a soul singer, but I wrote a song in 2019. It's more alt. And he was like, see, she doesn't even know what genre she is. She doesn't even know what she wants, blah, blah, blah. I was like, no. You have to like literally cut him off. Be like, no, I'm a soul singer. I make soul music. This is what I love to do. Meanwhile, I don't even know if that's what like the main genre, but you can't let them have an ounce of like, oh, she doesn't, because they genre it did at least in the past seasons really matter. If you did not know your genre, like they used to have genre rounds.
Now it's performance challenge.
They have like songwriting, performance, and confidence. So I was not going to let him saying that be the reason I didn't go through. So I was like, soul is what I sing. That is my genre. Because I wasn't going to let him persuade the other judges. I was like, that is my genre. That's what I want to do. Blah, blah. And that was the end of it. Don't let them walk all over you. I feel like I controlled that room very well. Of course, Hollywood Week, I didn't make it, but that's more of like a, not an intimate, it's everyone.
Right. Well, I freaking love that you just know exactly who you are as an artist and aren't afraid to say it and to them and to take ownership of who you are because that's like one of the most important things as an artist is that ownership, right? You can sing a song and you're in this industry where people might tell you how they want you to sing that song or what songs to sing or who to be. Knowing who you are and figuring out who you are and letting people know this is me
Yeah.
is like the most important thing, right?
You always have to stay true to yourself. If you're a songwriter, they love when you're playing an instrument. I've noticed almost everyone they sent through in Hollywood Week, like not everyone, but almost everyone who had an instrument, they made it through Hollywood Week. Or like a guitar. Almost anyone who sang an original, they made it through, like
Hmm.
the first round. I think
Interesting.
everyone that's singing an original made it through the first round.
Wow.
Like they're really like on to that. Like they really like originals and artistry and you playing an instrument. And I think that's kind of where I lacked. So if I were to make it next year, I think I would make maybe like I would probably like play my guitar or piano. I'm also I played saxophone when I was like in sixth, seventh, and eighth grade.
Wow.
I'm relearning it now. So I think maybe that'd be
Cool.
cool if I just put on my saxophone and start playing a little bit of sax.
Yes.
But I think there's smart. There's small things that give you an edge. Like that's also a reason that I'm learning saxophone again is because I think it might give me an edge in the music industry, just like Lizzo and her flute. Like
Yeah.
people love that shit. Like people love when she's playing the flute because it's cool.
Yeah.
Like that she like that's a unusual instrument. She just has a flute and she's like twerking. Like that's cool. Like I won't be twerking, but it'd be cool if I just whipped a sax out and just like started like playing saxophone after I'm singing. It's just cool. So I don't know. I think that might give me a little bit of an edge in the music world because almost not almost everyone, but a lot of people play guitar and piano. I mean, those are like the most ukulele. Those are all instruments that I play. I'm very average at playing. I've been playing for so long. My best instrument is guitar for sure, but I'm so average at all the other instruments, like so average. I'm self-taught for everything, except for like, I mean, I learned saxophone in the middle school, so I'm not sure. That's not really self-taught because, but I'm self-teaching myself again. And I'm lucky because I have my dad. I'm like, hey, how can I play this differently? My dad can help me, but I honestly hate when my parents butt in. It's kind of annoying, so I'm kind of like, go away, like let me figure it out on my own. I'm lucky that I have some resources to help me out.
Definitely. No, it's so neat. And I know that he mentioned wanting your dad mentioned wanting to have the promo of Idol. They are going to send you pictures, right? So you'll have at
Yeah,
least
yeah,
some
they are.
media.
Hopefully, they're not ugly. But I'm really excited because I will be posting those, and it will be pinned on my Instagram if I think they're cute enough. Because I already have like my Idol pin, but they're not like very good quality. But it's still really cool. I'm glad I have. I mean, it's cool enough to just say I've sang on American Idol and I've sang in front of Katy Perry and Luke Bryan and Lionel Richie. So I'm excited.
Well, you sang for the judges, and we're actually going to play one of your songs because I really want everybody to hear your voice right now in just a second. So, Cameron, tell us about the song that we're going to play.
This is a song I wrote when I was like 18. I released it on my 19th birthday. It's called Sugar and Whiskey. It's kind of about addiction. I've personally never been addicted to anything, but I've had like friends go through it, so it's kind of like about that. And I think the lyrics are really well written. It's more alternative, indie. I'm more of a, this is 4 years ago, mind you. Now I'm more of like a soul singer, but I think the lyrics are at the same level as they were. If you like Billie Eilish, Lord, but it's a little more indie, that's kind of the type of song it is. But I think it's really well written, and I'm proud of myself for the time that it was. I'm really excited. I'm having new music come out very soon. I don't know when because I'm still recording it, but possibly May time is when my new song. If you like soul pop, if you like Amy Winehouse type of vibe, you like the next song that I'm having coming out. It's called Maybe.
It's called Maybe, but I am definitely going to check it out. So
Oh,
looking forward to
thanks.
that. And we're going to play Sugar and Whiskey in just a second. But really quickly, Cameron, if you want to plug your social media, anywhere that people can find you, stream your music, shows coming up, anything like that.
So I am Tampa Bay based. I have a local band. If you're in the Tampa Bay area, Florida, I have a local band called Social Fabric. You can go on socialfabricband.com. It has our schedule and where we're playing if you wanted to come check us out. That's the first off. My social media is at Keb, Keb, the celeb, like celebrity on everything. So it's Keb, the THE, celeb, CELEB. I just think it's a fun name because I'm a celebrity.
Yes.
Yeah, you can find my link tree on almost all of the social media. Which a link tree just has all my music links. Keep an eye out for music to come.
I love link trees. They're so helpful.
They are, and it's free if unless you want to pay for it.
Right. I don't know why. I mean, I think they're great. I don't know why they need to have a premium version of Linktree because you get everything done with the free version, but
You must get something extra. You must. I mean,
fancier background. I don't know.
you get
They
more.
already
Oh
let
yeah,
you do a background.
you get more like selections to choose from.
Yeah. Cameron, this was so much fun. I
This
really
is fun.
appreciate your
Thank you so
time.
much for giving me the opportunity and the platform to like speak about myself. And thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk about my audition since it didn't get to be aired.
Well, thank you, Cameron. If you guys enjoy this conversation, make sure you follow us on Instagram at Idle and Nerd Podcast. Subscribe, rate, leave a comment or review wherever you're listening or watching. Have an amazing day.
I fly high to by the shores of the seaside. I cry tears of diamonds when the sins of the beast slither through its teeth. Take me somewhere where I don't feel alone, where the salt doesn't reach my bones. Take me somewhere where my feet don't touch the ground and my head never falls down. Some sugar and whiskey, some pills, and my tipsy head. This is where I thrive. A strip on my pink light feels so good, I'm on fire. This is where I feel alive. Only feel this way when I'm high. I know that you know me in this dreamlike state where it feels so real. I know that you owe me some green, not fake. I wanna be taken away. Take me somewhere where I don't feel alone, where the sound doesn't reach my bones. Take me somewhere where my feet don't touch the ground and my head never falls down. Some sugar and whiskey, some pills, and my tipsy head. This is where I thrive. A strip on my pink light feels so good, I'm on fire. This is where I feel alive. Only feel this way when I'm high. Coming down, coming down, coming down, down now. Hit the ground, hit the ground, ground, hit the ground, hit the ground now. Only found now when I'm in the clouds. Only when I'm high. Some sugar and whiskey, some pills, and my tipsy head. This is where I thrive. A strip on my pink light feels so good.